And happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to a big edition of Woodbine Racing Live. It's our last day, and then we get 6 sleeps until the biggest day of the year.
You know, I just had for the first time this year that, oh no, I'm not going to get everything done in time.
Really?
Like,
you have that feeling?
I don't know. I'm just starting to work on stuff for the draw now, and I'm just like, I got to get like all my notes done and stuff like that, 'cause it's the first draw I've hosted, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. So I'm just trying to make all my notations and stuff. So yeah, I'm a little panicky right now.
Yeah, you know, you're doing something new.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's why,
Yeah.
right? Because people would be like, well, I couldn't do what we do, right? They'd get so nervous. And really, I've done a few draws. You're good.
You know what's funny though is, and I try to tell this to people, like, I really don't like public speaking, but like we talk, but you're on TV all the time, and I know people are watching. Well, we at least hope people are watching, but there's just a camera here.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You don't. There's nobody to say. There's nobody like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Jeff? Just picture everybody naked.
I know. Then I get really nervous.
Well, we've got 10 races in store for you today. No stakes on today's program, but we do have a feature race. So it goes race number 8 on the card, and that is the Turf Distance Series at an extended route on the E.P. Taylor Turf Course.
Can one more brew keep the roll going?
Wouldn't that be interesting?
3 for 3 so far on the grass. What a fantastic claim, too. You know, this is obviously a barn Bob told that, you know, throughout the years, that's what Bob did early on in his career before he got the good horses. You know, he started with claimers, and now he's got really good horses, and that one has done a lot of good things. And the way that horse is going right now, I'm not sure when we'll get this horse back on the main track, but here's a look at how the main track did play yesterday.
So, yeah, the track was pretty good yesterday. I thought, you know, obviously a really fair track. A lot of horses kind of ran the way we expected to. Some not so much. You know, we saw some other horses that we thought might be stalkers, and they ended up being sent to the front end. But we saw some nice winners on the program yesterday, including Josie Carroll, who sent out 2 winners. Faith was a nice one in race number 5, and then she won again with Rarefied in the last race on the program. Cara was the upset, I think, on the program.
Yeah, you know what? The biggest price was for a Saturday card. This is very unusual, 9-2, and that was Houlihan, who was probably too big of a price in hindsight.
Maybe.
Able to pull off the victory there, but yeah, you had Faith, who was able to win at odds of 7-2. Oceana got up to win to pull off a bit of an upset at odds of 7-2 as well. Josie Carroll with a good day. She won a couple on the program. Rafi with a good day as well. So congratulations to everybody involved who had success with yesterday's card.
Petra had 2 winners on the program yesterday as well. And then the on-track feature was the second jewel of the Canadian Triple Tierra, that being the Bison City, for $250,000. And we had a feeling it was going to be a Cassie first and a Cassie second, but we thought it might be Shifty's turn to win, and it wasn't. It was Winterberry. But when we were in the paddock, when we were looking at the horses, she really was the best looking one there.
It's like you would, if you looked at her yesterday in the paddock, you would have no idea what her quirks were last year.
True.
She was perfect. Now, they're always kind of on their toes with this horse because they know that she can switch on a dime, and Patrick got the picture taken very, very quickly because she does have some quirks to her. But you know what's funny too is you can make a strong case that those are Cassie's second and third best Canadian bred 3-year-olds because of the filly variety, because his best one's going to show up coming up in the King's Plate.
Yeah, and that's no time, so we'll be watching for that as well. And speaking of King's Plate, we have more workouts to show you on today's program as well. I'm finding these are really, really great. You know, from a handicapping perspective, not everybody's able to get up at the crack of dawn and watch these horses breeze, but getting to watch them on tape has really been a valuable asset for handicapping.
Has it ever. You know, it's one of those situations where if you're kind of undecided, it might be the determining factor for you.
I think so.
You know, because really right now going in, there's no strong horse you say, this is the horse to beat.
Yeah,
you
no,
can't
you're
say
100%
that,
right.
you know?
But off the workouts, I think I have my top 3
I've moved some up and
right
I've moved some down a little.
Me too. Now, speaking of workouts, here's what happened this morning. Our clocker, Ernie Perry, of course, busy in the morning, and he rates the track at 3.5. That's exactly what he rated it as yesterday. Mostly slow works he's talking about, too, on this morning's track. There's an interesting thing. He says the outside was the best place to be. I would say that that's like maybe 95% of the time he says inside. So this is a real rarity to say that the outside was better. Now that was in the morning and things will change, but here's the work. Now this is a baby 2-0 hero who worked in 35 and 4. Could be a future star. That's a Kevin Attard horse who will likely show up in the Soaring
I
Free.
would think so, yeah. 35-4 getting ready. Surprise, surprise, a Kevin horse makes it onto the board.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couple Kevin horses in our workout report coming up a little bit later on when it comes to the King's Plates. And for Ernie, he says the best wagering race of the day for him is going to come up in race number 6 on the program. And that 6th race is a maiden optional 40,000 claimer, in which you get the morning line favorite in that spot is who is the morning line favorite in that race? Well, Red Weaver's my pick in that race.
Yeah,
I can't
Red
remember.
Weaver.
Well, you know the question mark is, what do you do with Super Tucson in there taking the drop down
There's
class?
a bit of a disappointment there for that one. That's for sure. I think we had some high hopes for that horse this season. All right, so time to get into the topics for today, and of course we have 7 topics to discuss. And we're going to start things off in race number 4 on the program, which is where we kick off the early pick 4 and. 4th race on today's card will go, let me just get to my 4th race. A mile and a 16th. This is 7,500 nominators at 2. Not always an easy way to kick off the pick 4 because you get unreliable horses in this event. But I think Guard of Honor is one you have to respect. Devin Gittins had a nice winner on the program yesterday with Perfactor. I'm kicking myself for not putting that horse up in the top spot. And Devin had said too, you know, in the paddock pre-race to me, said, I wish I had a barn full of Perfactors. And he might have a nice one here with Guard of Honor for 75.
I'm going towards the other Devon horse, looking for a bit of a price here, and Diva's Ghost goes off the claim for conditioner Gittins, who that's a 17% angle. And I think might excel going around 2 turns by a King's Plate winner, actually a Queen's Plate winner, Shaman Ghost. And, you know, I realized last time I wasn't able to get by Pet Sounds, but I'm just kind of thinking that maybe the stretch it. I realized the horse went long once last season, but I think it was just too tough on that occasion. And I'm just trying to find some prices on the card. And it's tough when we have the smaller fields, at least like we do today, to try and find those 8-to-1 shots, 6-to-1 shots, stuff like that. So I'm trying to find somebody in here because I don't really trust Pet Sounds that much.
But the barn is good.
Yeah, good. Guard of Honor just missed so much time. Can he get back into the swing of things as well? You know, it's just... we're going to get to our pick 4 ticket coming up a little bit later on, and by no means could I key a horse in this race.
No, you know, the thing that attracts me to Guard of Honor is Sahin Savachi riding, because he doesn't ride a lot for Devin. And, like, you know, Devin is kind of sharing the wealth. He's letting a lot of people do the riding over there, but his stats with Sky Ternetz are the ones that are most impressive. And you can see those at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, this one should be back soon, fingers crossed. So, let's get some of our jockeys back here. It's been a bit of a tough go for some of our riders recently.
Yeah, did you see the update from Omar Marino that he posted yesterday?
I saw he put a lovely message on Facebook. And you know what I thought was so sweet? Like, here's a guy that, you know, he's suffered a very, very serious injury, and he's out there thanking people. Like Helen Vanek, he said probably really saved his life. And everybody that has sponsored his GoFundMe account as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize really how bad it was until, because I wasn't watching the racing from Fort Erie that day, but it sounds like Helen was the hero there.
Well, the initial report was bumps and bruises, and then we find out, so no, that's not bumps and bruises.
Not at all, not at all. So we're thinking of you, Omar. Okay, let's go to our next topic, which is an eventful debut. Yeah, this was a great debut for Philip Banks. And Philip Banks debuts in the Lake Superior back on July the 27th. And prior to the race, I had interviewed Tony Gadalero because he bred the horse. This is out of his mare, Fresh Princess. That's why we love the name Philip Banks. Yeah. If anybody watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you're going to have a little giggle when you see that. But what was interesting, and Jeff's going to show you the replay, what was interesting was just, you know, the horse a little green, you know, got himself into a little bit of a jackpot, ran very, very well against Stakes Company. Yeah, just watch the 3 horse. We're going to pick this up all the way until they start to enter the turn, and just green, green, green. It starts out not bad, but then it just seems like when Ryan tried to get him to relax a little bit, he's like, I'm not so sure I really want to relax because I'm kind of enjoying right now. Things are going to get a little bit tight right here coming up. And now he's going to kind of fight the rider here a couple seconds. Now he's going to, I'm just going to make a right-hand turn right here. And almost drops Leo there, too. And we're still kind of really fighting the rider, still trying to get it on the turn. Like, watch the horse's head, like, just cocked right to the left, trying to get out, trying to get out, trying to get out, just not handling the turn. So we'll get to a later portion of the race now at the top of the stretch. And here, after all that, he's trying to make this big move in here. And he'll eventually lose this race by about 3 lengths. You know, he kind of loses the contention. You're thinking, man, this might be a massive recovery to kind of win this.
this race, but just gets a little bit tired late. So I just hope from a learning point of view, we've got that race under our belt. And you know what? I don't blame them for taking a shot in Lake Superior. They picked up $5,000 for finishing in the 4th place position. And now they found a field that has not come up all that tough, unless you think one of these first-time starters can run, and they might be able to, because you got Gun Hunted as a gun runner, and the Four Cats Fury who's a kitten's joy, and the Mare's a half that tis a slam. So these first-timers look pretty good too. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that Philip Banks will be able to. Uncle Phil.
Yeah, Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil. That's going to be our nickname for Philip Banks. Uncle Phil.
For sure. You know, the other funny thing too was, well, not funny, but I mean, after the race was over, I said to Tony, like, hey, that horse ran big. You know, all things considered. He said, could you imagine if I would have won? I would have had to sweat out an inquiry for sure. Yeah. So, and there he is going to visit Uncle Phil. Eyes wide open there.
There's Uncle Phil and R. Roberts. Yeah. But he blinked.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil blinked. I used to be the king of that one. Remember the flash photography? I would blink all the time. Be like, cheese.
Yeah, exactly. You only got one shot. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days.
Like, what a great show.
I know. It was great. Yeah.
What was the name of the guy that?
Carlton?
No, that was the brother. It was Will's friend who always wanted to pick up the sister.
That was DJ Jazzy Jeff. But I don't know what his name was on there.
Name was,
yeah.
What a fantastic show.
It was a good one. Yeah. It was a good one. Yeah. All right, next topic comes up for us.
Remember Uncle Phil would always throw him out the house.
That's right. And kick him out. And it was shot him flying out the front door. All right, race number 6 is where we go to next with the best bet. Okay, we talked about Super Tuscan. Yeah. This has been, I think, a real disappointment. The horse was purchased privately, and some of the connections stayed with the horse. But now here we are, offered up for $40,000, and I gotta be honest, I use the horse for the 4th spot. I just don't even know if this one's good enough for this. I think Red Weaver is the horse you got to worry about, though.
I just kind of liken him back over to the main. Those 2 races from last year, Humber River ran second against that one, then lost 30 cents on the dollar to wrap up the campaign, but ran very, very well. So I kind of like that one's chances. Ron Sadler's got 2 first-time starters on today's program, and he's got pocket speed in here, and one of his main riders rides. And you've got Sterling Castle, ran not bad first time out. You got a 4-year-old first-time starter. How's it going, Owen? You've got Signature Sir goes off the claim as well. But I'm kind of really banking that Red Weaver will be able to kind of wake up a little bit with the move back over to the synthetic.
I use the horse too. It really only had that one clunker, and other than that, it's been okay. Plus, Bob's had a pretty good week as far as winning races is concerned,
has,
and he uses, like you said, his go-to rider.
What's the name of that song?
Dreamweaver. I believe you can get. Yeah. Oh man, it's one of those days today. All right, so that's race number 6 on the card, a maiden optional $40,000 claimer going 3/4 of a mile. What's the next topic? Well, it is the turf distance race, which comes up as the 8th on the program, and this is part of a series of races where we have, I think it's 3 races in that series, right? So we've had the first portion, which was run back on July the 18th, in which One More Brew was the winner, and today we go 1.25 miles on the E.P. Taylor turf course. So there's some interesting horses in here. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Fighter in the Wind. Yeah. And he was trying to do something, that would have been a real triumph if he was able to do it, which was to be in the sprint series and the distance series.
Do you think he can get 1.25 miles?
I think he's speed. I think he's the speed of the race.
Yeah, I do
That's
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, would it surprise me if he won? No, but I do think he'll be the engine here.
He's on the front end. We've highlighted One More Brew. This was a great race. The first leg of this series. Breaking Alone runs huge to eventually finish in the 2nd place position. 3rd is the horse that's not going to compete in this event, El Gabong. But here we go right now, and just keep an eye on the Julio colors. And on the outside is the big, imposing Breaking Alone. And these 2 are going to throw it down. There's your good friend. Look at Fighter in the Wind. He's fighting so hard right now. And he just can't quite hold off these horses. But you know what I love about One More Brew? He loves to win races, man. He loves loves to win races. 7-time winner in 24 starts, and I don't think the extra distance will be much of an issue with him. I'm more worried about Fighter in the Winds than that. But then you've got Soulmate in here. I'm going to kind of bank on that one, going off the claim for Mike Wright Jr. I wonder if they claim this horse thinking with this series in their mind, because the horse is proven going long on the synthetic, though, not necessarily on turf.
What I like about him, and I went to him too, what I like about him is he could be speed if he wants to.
Yeah.
But I think you got to let Fighter in the Wind go.
Would too.
I would sit just off of him, because if you look at some of those races that he had at Gulfstream, he was sitting, just a length off, and he's getting a little older, but he's another horse who really enjoys racing on the grass, and Pietro Moran is attracted to ride here today. Plus, that work is kind of interesting for an old dude to work in 46 and change.
You and I are going to kick ourselves if one more Brew wins yet again.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Like you said, we're looking for maybe some value.
Yeah, trying to find a bit of price.
I think you'll get some value on that one here this afternoon. So that is race number 8 on the program, the Turf Distance Series. As we flip over to race number 9, I know we got 10 seconds on the clock, but we're gonna bank it. Philip, bank it. So race number 9, the optional 32 or the A other than, and Jeff's favorite horse is in this race.
Yes,
I
Poseidon
have
Steel.
my Hotsy-Totsy horse, and that's Jagger's Got a Gun.
Yeah.
And you got your dude in here, and that's Poseidon Steel. Now, both of them, I think, would win a beauty contest. They are by far the most handsome horses that race here at Woodbine, and both of them are horses, which is interesting too. Because, and I think that's what we're so attracted to is, they have the big jowls, they have that big, beautiful body. This horse looks like he could go into the show ring as well every time he comes over too. But what about the little mighty Hanlon? Can he do it here?
Let me ask you. Do you think we can officially categorize Hanlon as one of the more improved horses so far this year at Woodbine?
Guaranteed. You know, back in the day, we used to have HBPA awards, and there was like a claimer of the year.
Yeah, he'd be up there. One more Brew might be up there too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But Hanlon, he's won 3 races, and last time, what killed him was Giant Teddy just got to the front, just wouldn't stop. And Hanlon ran his race. He finishes in second. He beats Pine Nolan there. We'll fire up the replay, and you can take a look at it right now. And you could have had this horse for $15,000. He couldn't break his mane last year for 15.
I know.
And then he had to wait a couple more races, and finally they did get that win for 15,000. But here we go now with the outside rally, and we've had Flores, we've had Bino. Now with Flores back on the sidelines, it's gonna be Bino that picks up the mounts. Now we're having a wide trip in here, and really, nobody's making up any ground with the exception of our horse in here. You've got Giant Teddy, who's so tough on the front end. And here comes Hanlon. We're not going to win the race, but he's running a corker, and he holds off a really good horse on the inside, that being Pinal. He gets up there and be able to finish that one. So he's still good right now, really, really good. And I would love to see him get this win in this condition. Last time when they ran, what's a little bit interesting to me is they ran him with the tag. Now they're protecting him.
Well, they want to get that A other than.
Maybe running him for the tag wasn't such a good idea last time.
No. Yeah, he is a real neat animal. So a lot of us are going to go towards the 6, with the exception of Doug, who takes the 4. Armstrong, and Armstrong's coming out of the Turf Sprint Series races.
Well, they dropped 50 for him, and he just has not panned out. Now he's going to go for 32,000. You got Priceless Will for Drexler. Your Valentino, I think he could double up. I wouldn't be surprised.
He could. Rapportage moves into a new outfit, which is interesting. He was a good little horse for that barn that had him previous. So, all right. So the 9th race is how we kick off the late double for you on the afternoon as we go to the 10th. Now the 10th has been demolished, right?
That's
because of all the scratches.
To describe it. Demolished. That's perfect.
So originally we were supposed to have a nice big group of 9, and now we have 6 that are going to race here. So we'll take out the 2, the 4, and everybody was making the 4 horse the best bet of the day. Everybody. So he is out. The 9 is out, and the 10 was entered as a main track only horse. So I think Backroads Billy just inherits the top spot because, he's a speedball. He is stretching out to go a little further here today. He's been on the inner turf course. Now he gets a chance to try the E.P. Taylor turf course, but that's a nice little horse from this barn.
Boy, he lost a heartbreaker last time out, too. He was doing all the dirty work up front, then here comes Bought a Swing and is able to nail him right on the money. I kind of like Roar of the Crowd in here a little bit. Roar of the Crowd has run better on synthetic to this point than on the turf, but You look back at that last race, so good when second against Criminal Intent and the Bosnelli barn. You know, I try to guess with them, and sometimes I'm wrong. More often than not, I am wrong. But I just think, you know, the way this race is kind of lined up now, there being so many scratches, I think he's got to be a bit of an opportunist here today and pounce on this field.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we both took shots on Bosnelli horses this week, and they ran good.
Yep,
they just didn't
Not
win.
quite good enough.
Yep, exactly. So the 10th race, how we wrap up the card
You
today.
got Glass Weekend in there, good run last time out, and Wagner clearly is a happy horse on the turf right now too.
And a carryover for the jackpot high five of over 23,000.
Yeah, that wager will not go today. It's a field of 6.
Exactly.
So it's not gonna
yeah,
go,
but we haven't announced that, have we?
No, it's good. It's a wagering is available on it, but they just you can get it because what happens is they pay out the consolation portion.
Oh, right.
So what I'm saying is that the odds of there being one winning ticket holder today is slim to nil.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's what we got for the 10 in store for you this afternoon. We'll take a look at our plays of the day and see what we can offer you. What do you got, Jeff?
What do I have? That's a great question.
Yeah, because we did these so many days ago.
My beat the favorite is April Develop. Yeah, Strike the Chord's the favorite in that race. I don't know. I just think Strike the Chord might be really vulnerable here today, coming up in that third race of the day. 6 to 5.
I went with you. I'm with April Develop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Value play in the fourth is going to be Diva's Ghost. My best bet is going to be Red Weaver, and because it's Fan Appreciation Day, I only have to give you 3 plays today instead of 4.
I can't remember what I sent in either, because again, this was so many days ago. So let's see what I got. I think Philip My Wine was my best bet of the day.
I don't think you're alone there.
Yeah. So there you go, scratch. Okay, come on, Big Lou, in the opener on the program. I think it's a nice, easy way to get a win in the first.
On the front end.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to start your day off with a winner. Probably won't pay anything, but at least it gets you to cash. Philip Banks makes my watch list, so I like him in the 5th. And Red Weaver, I think he's a key, possibly. Now, we didn't key him, but he is a possible key if you want to make a skinny ticket in race number 6 on the program.
You know, both you and I like Red Weaver so much, but in hindsight, we probably should have keyed that horse.
Maybe we should have. But you know
what?
We didn't. Sheriff Ali, a top selection for Doug McPherson in race number 7, and Armstrong, a top selection from our Woodbine TV prod at 7-2, and that is in the 9th race on the program. We have a couple of clocker horses to take a look at as well. In fact, there's really 3 clocker horses today because what's that one that's running today? Satori? Is it Satori?
Yes, was a clock horse yesterday.
Was a clocker horse yesterday and is racing today and in a much better spot. So don't forget that one from yesterday. Golden Truth is a clocker horse. This is an interesting one. You're gonna get a price on this horse, 6 to 1. And then Pocket Speed, that's a Ron Sadler.
Oh, the claimer, yeah. I thought it was the
2 to 1.
other Ron Sadler horse that was a clock horse today. I got confused there.
Okay, you know what he writes there is kind of fun. Let's ride a hot barn year.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Every year, this is a hot barn. Every year, they consistently have good seasons, and that's thanks to some really good horsemanship, number 1, and another good horse in the barn, Ron's Gizmo.
I want to look at some more King's Plate works.
Do ya? Okay,
Yeah.
I promise we're going to look at those. We'll take a look at them after a quick commercial break. A few plate works to take a look at.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Download the Bet365 app, the only sports book available to bet on today's races, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
More than just a race.
One of the great sporting traditions in this country.
It's part of our culture.
A huge crowd this afternoon.
An iconic day about royalty, fashion, and passion.
A magnificent lineup.
A truly magical equine display.
And they're off in the King's Plate.
He's running his eyeballs out.
She's as great as they come.
What a race!
with one to rule the day. Watch the 166th King's Plate, the first leg of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown.
As promised, we have a few plate works to take a look at. These have been incredibly valuable from a handicapping perspective. I wish we could do more, but it's always great to take a look at these plate horses as they make their final prep for the big race next Saturday. So it's two Kevin Attard horses that we're going to take a look at. Jeff, turn around and you can see. So it's the horse with the red blinkers that we're watching here, and this is Faber.
Right, so Faber's going to work with Aram, who finished 4th in the Oaks. Actually ran very well in the Oaks. But it's still a maiden, and here's a look at Pietro with Faber on the outside. So they're going to work in 102 and 4 in here, and on the outside they're eventually going to travel up into contention in this move here. Not sure exactly who's going to ride Faber at this point. There was some announcements earlier on, but that might be changing who's going to ride Faber. We'll keep you posted on that. But here's a look at Faber in here in that beautiful long white blaze, and going to get up towards the horse on the inside.
The only thing here too, you know, and we've seen a lot of riders push on past the wire. You know, they let this horse's head out just a little bit, but you know, he's trying to keep up with the horse along the inside. And like you said, that's a filly who's a maiden, but traditionally we found the outside of the track isn't always the best place to be for works. The inside tends to be, you know, the fastest lane, but today Ernie Perry said it was the outside. Now this was yesterday, so take that into account. We have another another Kevin Attard horse to take a look at from yesterday. Now this one's going to work on his own. Now this is DeWolf with Karina McLean aboard.
Right.
This is a sizzling workout, and he does it by himself.
46 and 1. Now he's been fooling us so far this year because he's worked considerably well all year long. But come racing time, he really hasn't been able to bring it to this point. So here's a look at Karina. And I wonder if maybe in company, if he works a little bit too fast, if that's a possibility.
I don't know. I'm not
that's
sure.
why they're going to go by himself in here. But man, he does look good. I'll tell you that much. And this has got to be fun. Like, to me, this would be like me on the 407 with no speed limit driving a Corvette. Like, I can't imagine the feeling.
I can see though why Ernie keeps getting attracted to him, because what you see in the morning looks like you're sitting on the real deal.
Yeah.
Now, what we've seen in the afternoon has been a little bit different. Now, she
just
does
taps
tap
him
him
right
a
there,
little just to keep him going, and she'll give him a really good gallop out here in this work as well. So those were the two Attard workers. Now, I do know that this morning we had a couple of other horses working down in here. So hold on. Monterey Bay worked here as well. So that's the Wesley Ward horse that broke his maiden here. So he's obviously stationed here. So that's a good thing. And the other worker from this morning was Watsonville Red from the DePaulo barn. So he worked in 49 and 1, and Monterey Bay worked in 12 and 4.
And Ready for Sure worked for the E.P. Taylor.
Saw that.
As well. Not sure who's going to ride that one because I'm obviously on the sidelines right now. But thank you to all the trainers who have been so cooperative with us to find out from them when their horses are working, because it's tough when you have limited resources to try and get these horses on their works, but we just want to thank everybody for cooperating. And what's made a huge difference at the King's Plate saddle cloths as well.
Yeah, because then you're able to spot them. But, you know, and even like thanks to our broadcasting team, because they had to get up at the crack of dawn. And that's not something they're all used to doing. There were a few that needed naps yesterday after the work that they did in the morning. We want to remind everybody about wagering that's available for this year's King's Plate. There are a number of big wagers for next Saturday's program, $1 million in guaranteed pick 5 pools. So, you know, here's all your guarantees, but also we'll have that Kings and Queens pick 3 that we're looking forward to, a mandatory payout for the Power pick 6, a mandatory payout for the Jackpot High 5. Lots of great wagering opportunities for you next Saturday. Of course, the Kings and Queens wager is the one that a lot of people are talking about because it has that low takeout rate. That you know, it should be a fun one to play. We're going to play it, and thank goodness for our pick 4 coming in on Friday. We have some money to play with. Maybe we'll get another one. We got 3 out of 4 yesterday.
Yeah, that race did not go as we expected. The last leg of the sequence.
Kara got us, and you know, hindsight, maybe we should have thrown Kara in there. But yeah, so looking forward to next Saturday's program as well. One other thing we want to remind everybody about is our schedule for next week. Now, the draw takes place Tuesday. Jeff is hosting the draw, so we'll be able to find out. Now, we just do the draw for plate. right? Not for
Yeah.
the rest of the program. That happens on Wednesday. We have no racing on Thursday. I've had a few people say, oh, you're going to have a nice vacation this week. Vacation? We got to get all this homework done for King's Plate. Of course, Friday post time is the regular 1:05. Plate day will go at 12:45, and Sunday, when we're all exhausted and we're coming to work in our pajamas, we'll be starting at 12:05.
Yes. So looking forward to a great weekend. You know, Plate weekend is very, very special. The forecast, the rain has been pushed out of the forecast. It's going to be hot.
Hot.
But it's just such a special day.
Yeah.
And we got ruins last year because of the weather.
We sure did. We're due for a good one.
We're due for a fantastic day, and hopefully it happens.
One more thing to pass along your way, and that's the HPI QR code. We are going to show that for you so that you can take your camera and put it right there, and then you can bet anytime, anywhere, on your phone.
That's
Hello.
right.
Yeah.
I remember coming to the race early in advance betting.
Sure.
And then I'd have to come back the next day to check my tickets.
Yeah, I remember telephone wagering.
Yes.
Boop, boop, boop.
I remember the voice of Starphone, the race results.
Yeah, I forgot I did Starphone. That was a long time ago.
Thoroughbreds 2001. For Standardbreds 2002.
Here are the results for race number 1. The winner, number 2. Anyways, it used to be a lot of fun. 21 minutes to go before race number 1 on our 10 race card this Sunday afternoon. Good luck.